Hi, just finished some work on this JCPenney 8-track tape deck, and I captured a few of the repair videos while I was going through the process, and I thought I'd just put them together and share them with you. So to open this thing up, you've got a couple of screws on either side that you've got to remove. They're towards the top and the front at the faceplate, so get those screws out of the way. And then you'll turn this thing around. You've got a total of 5 screws on the back cover that you've got to remove. There's 3 at the top, and then you've got 2 that hold the RCA jacks in place. Once you've got those out, you can angle the plate forward. It fits in a groove at the base, and then you can slide it up and away and over the power cord. So you can see we've got a lot of screws that we got to remove on the bottom. The one at the bottom left is going to be holding in the power cord. The 2 at the bottom right hold the transformer in place. One of them is the leg and the other one is a standalone screw. And you've got to remove all of these in order to get the tape transport and the chassis disconnected, and then we'll be able to remove all of that through the front. So with all those screws removed, we've loosened the chassis and the power cord and the transformer, and we're going to start to work this faceplate gently out towards the front. I noticed when I did this first there was a little bit of glue that was holding it in place that I had to cut loose, but once you've got that free, there's nothing else holding it, you can pull it forward. So here's a look inside the unit. Here's the circuit board and then the tape transport mechanism and a partial chassis that it has. And then I ordered a new counterbelt here that I'll show you, and we're going to see what we can do to get that installed, and I'll flip this thing over in a little bit to show you. But while I've got this here, I just wanted to give you the heads up on reinstalling the transformer. The brackets need to be orientated in the fashion that I'm showing you in order for the brackets to get tight up to the transformer. So here's a look at where the counterbelt needs to go. You can see the 2 white pulleys, but unfortunately there's a bracket right in the middle that's going to prevent us from just simply putting that belt on. So what we're going to do is remove this circuit board that's above it that has all of the push button controls. We'll take that out of the way, and then we'll get access to that lever, and I'm going to show you a little method that I use to try and get that counterbelt installed. So let's remove that circuit board, a couple of screws, one on either end. We'll get that out for us. It's taking a minute here. So with the 2 screws out, we've loosened up that board, and we can now pull that board forward. So all the push buttons will come out except for the record button, which is attached to the faceplate and is connected to the record play assembly and the lever that drives it. So we had to get this out of the way, had to clip some of the wire ties as well so that we could free up some of that wiring. Now that that's out of the way, you can see the lever and the little space that we need in between there to get that counterbelt around. So we got the counterbelt installed here. It just wraps around the 2 pulleys and over and around that lever that's used for the record play button. So now we'll reinstall that circuit board, get those push buttons back through the faceplate, and we'll turn this thing on temporarily just to check and make sure that the counterbelt's spinning and both pulleys are aligned properly. So while we got it open, let's check out the track selector, and that's working. And then I'll press the eject button to make sure that that's all functioning properly. So here's what you're going to have to do if you need to replace the belt on the flywheel. So we got the unit flipped over, and the first thing you're going to need to do is remove the big gear that's used for the eject mechanism. You got to take that little tiny C-clip off of there, and then you can lift that gear off. So once you've got the belt installed, it's time to put the eject gear back in place. And it's going to be a little bit tricky. There's 2 things that you got to watch out. One of them is that this lever is going to have to be moved up once it's installed, and that this plate is also going to have to be moved up. So we'll show you how that happens here. So once you've got the belt on, and that's pretty straightforward, you're going to need to put the eject gear back in place. The first thing you want to do is align this blank space with the pinion gear over there, and then insert it onto the shaft. And you'll notice that it's not going to go all the way down. First thing you want to do is get in here, like I showed earlier, and raise that plate up, and you can see it starts to go down. And then we've got that other bracket here, and once we lift that, then the whole mechanism will fall down and seat fully in place. So now it's just a matter of putting the C-clip, the retaining clip, back in place, which is always easier said than done, but we'll get that clip in place here, and then we'll give it a test run. So we got it powered up temporarily, plug in a tape, and you can see it starts working. And the only other thing I just wanted to make sure worked was to push the eject button, and you can see that rotate and eject the tape. So lastly, let's give this thing a test run. I recorded a tape of my son's band, and we'll use that as our test music here and make sure everything's functioning properly. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.